A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 4, verses 16 to 30. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. He came to Nazareth where he had been raised. As he always did on the Sabbath, he went to the meeting place, where he stood up to read. He was handed the scroll of the prophet Isaiah. Unrolling the scroll, he found a place where it was written, "God's Spirit is on me. He has chosen me to preach the message of good news to the poor, send me to announce pardon to prisoners and recovery of sight to the blind, to set the burdened and battle free, to announce this is God's time to shine." He rolled up the scroll, handed it back to the assistant, and sat down. Every eye in the place was on him, intent. Then he started in, "You have just heard Scripture make history. It came true just right now in this place." All who were there watching and listening were surprised at how well he spoke. But they also said, "Isn't this Joseph's son? The one we have known since he was just a kid?" He answered, "I suppose you are going to quote the proverb, 'Doctor, go heal yourself.' Do here in your hometown, where we heard you did in Capernaum." Well, let me tell you something. No prophet is ever welcome in his hometown. Isn't it a fact that there were many widows in Israel at the time of Elijah, during the 3.5 years of drought when famine devastated the land? But the only widow to whom Elijah was sent was in Zarephath in Sidon. And there were many lepers in Israel at the time of the prophet Elisha, but the only cleansed was Naaman the Syrian. That set everyone in the meeting place seething with anger. They threw him out, banishing him from the village, and took him to the mountain cliff at the edge of the village to throw him to his doom. But he gave them the slip and was on his way. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with God, and I am Father Joseph Matthew. Today, on the 1st of September, let us reflect on the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 4, verses 16 to 30. God's mercy has no borders. Nazareth was the town where Jesus grew up. It was not a forgotten village, but a lively town on the slopes of Galilee. From its hills, one could see the history of Israel spread out like a map. The battlefields of Deborah and Gideon, the vineyard of Naboth, Mount Carmel where Elijah called down fire from heaven. Caravans passed by on the great roads. Pilgrims walked toward Jerusalem. Soldiers marched under the Roman eagle. From the beginning, Jesus lived at a crossroads of peoples and histories. It was there, in the synagogue of Nazareth, that Jesus first announced his mission. He read from Isaiah, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has sent me to bring good news to the poor." At first, the people were amazed. But when Jesus reminded them that God's mercy had also touched the foreigners, the widow of Zarephath, Naaman the Syrian, their amazement turned into anger. How could this young man, whom they had known since childhood, speak as if God's love extended beyond the boundaries of Israel? This is the scandal of mercy. God's love is always greater than our calculations. It breaks down our walls. It embraces those we would exclude. Two lessons stand out. First, Jesus faithfully went to the synagogue every Sabbath. Even when worship was imperfect, he prayed with his people. We too are called to remain faithful to our community, even with its weaknesses, because God still meets us there. The second lesson, Jesus brings good news. John the Baptist proclaimed judgment. Jesus reveals the tenderness of the Father. He comes not to condemn, but to free, to heal, and to restore. The question for us is simple. Can we rejoice that God's mercy knows no borders?